let's go to the chapter 10, Excel workbooks. Today we have 3 learning goals. The first one is know how Microsoft Excel is important. Second one is know useful Excel functions and skills. And the third one is we will apply what we learned from this chapter, and we will apply that functions to solve the problems, many examples. So why Microsoft Excel is important? So Excel is a very powerful tool to visualize your data and analyze your data. So here you can see a lot of numbers here. This is a Microsoft Excel, and this is anthropometric data of US Army, male or female data. So if we want to see that some correlation between the relationship, linear relationship between stature and the sitting height, we can just make a plot. This is a scatter plot about 1,774 males. You can see there are very highly positive correlation between the stature and the sitting height, and it makes sense. So this is a chart that I created using Excel. So why is it important? First of all, when you graduate and if you go to company or some other research institute, anywhere, 90% of companies are using Excel. So if you don't know how to use the Excel, you're gonna be in trouble. So before you go to the company or doing some research work, you have to know about how to use the Excel, and then not just have to know, it's not good enough. You have to be fluently using the Excels. Okay, and the second of all, it's a very powerful tool. As I mentioned, we can efficiently and accurately analyze the data using various functions that provided by Excels. We can use statistics functions, and we can also create a chart using Excel very easily. So that's why Microsoft Excel is very important in engineering. Microsoft Excel is not free. It's free software. It's not free software. But you can download it through this link. You can just click the link, then you can go this website. If you click for the students, then you can download it in free of charge. So this is Excel. Let's look at the interface first. So you can see the paste function and the format painter functions, and this is insert functions, and the active cell, we call it cell. Okay, this is active cell, and the columns you can see A, B, C, D, E, F, G. This is the column headings, and then here the row headings are numbers. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. And here you can click the worksheet tabs. So you can click it, and the window, we call it worksheet window. Okay, this is interface, very basic. Let's look at the cell terminology. Okay, cell terminology. We have this data set, 4 columns and 8 rows. Here we want to calculate, so add these 2 values, 92 and 26, okay, which is in A3 cell and C5 cells, okay, and F10 cell, we just type like this, equal A3 plus C5, then the Excel will calculate. A is column index, and 3 is row index. Okay, this is easy. So you can see this is target cell, this is column, and this is row. That's it. So we call it, this A3 is address. Okay, address of the value. It's address of the value. So A3 plus C5 reference. By the way, this is a relative addressing. Here there is no dollar symbol, so A3 plus C5 means the C5 means from go to the 3 left and go up 5 rows. Okay, this is 26, and A3 is go left 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and go up 7 rows. Here 92. So A3 is go left 5 and go up 7. C5 is from here to go left 3 and go up 5. Okay, this is reference addressing. So for example, this is the result. If we sum 92 plus 26, that is 118, is relative addressing. What about if we just copy this cell and paste it to G11 cell? Then what is the answer? It's gonna be so. What about if we just copy and paste it to the G11 cell? As you can see, there is a relative addressing here. This cell and this cell is from go 5 left to up 7, and this is go left 3, go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so this is relative addressing. What about this? This is also, we can keep the relative locations from these cells. That is relative addressing. So that's why it's not 118, it's 81, because 30 plus 51. Okay. So relative addressing is target cell is always in the same relative position to the formula cell. Okay. And the absolute addressing is target cell is always the same formula cell. Okay. It's not relative position, it's same locations. The mixed one is mixed between the relative addressing and the absolute addressing. We can see with a number of examples here. So first we look at the relative addressing. So relative addressing is, let's say we have a number 10 in B3 cell. So C is B3 plus 5. Okay. Then we just copy this cell to here, D8. Then this automatically change C6 because this B3 means go 1 left and go up 2 rows. Okay. Left 1 column and up 2 rows. This is relative addressing. That means if we copy this cell to D8, then go left 1 and go up 2 cells. This is a C6. Okay, C6 plus 5. So the answer is 10, 15, and this is just 5. Okay, 10, 15, 5. The absolute addressing is that, let's look at B3 is 10, okay, and here you can see C5 cell is B3 plus 5. So B3 is here, you can see, but as you can see there is a symbol dollar mark here. So it's absolute addressing. If we just copy in here, it's still addressing these locations, B3. So still addressing this location. So the answer will be 10, 15, and 15. Okay, this is absolute addressing, not relative addressing. How about the mixed addressing? Mixed one is here. The symbol mark is only located in front of the column index, but not row index. So you can see B3 plus 5, okay, we just copy in here. B5, B is the same, right? It's not C, B, but it's 6 because this row is relative addressing, but the column is absolute addressing. So here you can see go left and 2 rows up, but here is still locating B but 2 rows up, that means B6. Pointing the B6. Answer is 10, 15, and just 5 because there is no data. It's empty cell B6. Okay, that's the answer. So probably you have a lot of chance to use the Excel before, and you probably use some functions in Excel. But do you know how many functions does Excel has? It has around 461 functions. Then let me ask you, what is your favorite or frequently used Excel functions? Some students say average or standard deviation. Those are very frequently used functions in Excel. So here you can see summation, average, minimum, maximum. Those are very frequently we can use in Excel. And the other one is a VLOOKUP function and the if statement. These two functions is very powerful function in Excel. So let me explain these two functions in the later. Okay. So first of all, here's a small quiz. We have a data. We have 10 data here, and each cell contains value 1. Okay. Then what is the answer for sum 5,5? Is it 2? No, because it's just a number, right? So 5,5. That means the answer is 10. But here you can see sum A1, B1. So what is the answer here? A1 is 1 and B1 is 1. So answer is 2. What about this sum A1 colon B5? It's not comma, it's colon. And what is the answer? This I didn't explain to you. This column means from A1 to B5 include all the cells. Okay, so here A1 to B5 include all the cells. So the answer is 10. So 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 is all the cells. Okay. So here's the different thing is column and the comma. Comma means just calculate the 2 elements, but this column means calculate all the cells in between 2 cells. Okay. So how to select the data? You can select the data using mouse or keyboard. You don't need to type this. You can just simply click or drag the range of the data set. Let's look at how we can use it. So you can select a range of the data very quickly. Okay. So for example, you can click the mouse. If you click this one, then you will select all the data set in that worksheet. But here you can click the column tab A, then you can the Excel will select all the data in column A, not column B. It's only in column A, but all the data. Okay. The other way is if you using the Control plus Shift plus arrow key, then you will select the data very quickly. Okay. Let's look at how we select the data. So here is the Excel data. There are so many data and dimensions, variable names. So if we click that button, then the Excel will select all the data. And then we want to just click each cell. It's okay, and we can drag it, selecting, and we can also click the columns to select only that column's data. And if there is a longer various variable names, if we click this button, this button, then Excel will automatically expand the width of the column according to the length of the variable dimensions, variable lengths. Okay. Okay, that's how we select the data. Another question is we can also use trigonometry functions in Excel. So you probably know the cosine 60 degree. You see here is the radians. So you can see how we use the cosine function in Excel. So cosine radians 60 is 0.5. Okay, and we can also use arc cosine 0.5. Then we can convert it to the degree, that is 60 degree. Okay, it's really easy. Another statistics function in Excel, we watch the average, maximum, median, mean, standard deviation, and also we can use square root, product, power, exponential functions in Excel. The other miscellaneous function, but it's very useful function, is count function. So count means count how many data in a certain range of the data. Count if you can also give some condition to count some data, and the round, slope, these are also very useful tool in Excel. Then let's look at the Format Painter. This is Microsoft Excel, Microsoft Word, and the Microsoft Office PowerPoint. You can see there are Format Painter. What is Format Painter? The Format Painter is so you want to copy the format only. Just you want to copy the format from one item to another's. Okay, so you don't need to create the format again and again and again. You don't need to do that. You can just copy the format and then paste it. So here, let's look at some examples. So we are going to use the Format Painter to copy the format. Okay, so let's say my name is Jangwoon Park. So I can type my name here. First name is Jangwoon, and then my last name is Park. And then we can change some format of these two data sets. So let's say we can just simply change the background, the color, or the color of the font, the character. We can change it. So this is, we just simply change the format of the data in terms of color, and then we can just copy and paste it, Ctrl C or Ctrl V, Ctrl X or Ctrl V. So what is the difference between Ctrl C and Ctrl X? This is a Ctrl C and Ctrl V, Ctrl C and Ctrl V. So the original data is already exist, but however Ctrl X and Ctrl V, you can see the original data just moved to the another cells. Okay. Now we can also copy just the value, not format. Okay. So copy and paste it as a value. That means their format will be lost. Only data will be copied. But now we want to keep the format from the original data set, and then we will use Format Painter. Just copy and paste it. Okay, simply you can just click the original data set and click the Format Painter and then copy. It's really easy. Okay, and then let's say we change some character, font type, and also we can change, we can also copy change the font, the Format Painter. It's very useful tool if you want to copy some format from the other cells. And this is a useful tool. If you click the double click, then you continuously change the format here, but there is no data, so we just, the Excel just copy the color of the background color. Here we have US Army anthropometric data. This is not confidential data, so don't too much worry about that. So we have 1,700 male data and 2,200 female data, and we have 160 anthropometric dimensions. It's very large size data. So we are going to use this data set to learn how to find the smallest or largest anchor circumference in the data. Okay? So here we can use a sort function. Here you can see the sort function is here. We have anchor circumference data. There are two options: expand the selection and continue with the current selection. Let's just click the continue with the current selection only. So this column, we want to find the largest one and the smallest one without changing other relative cells. Okay, so largest to smallest, you can see 267 is the largest among those data sets. But we want to change other data as well according to the anchor circumference. Then we can select sort, then expand the selections. Okay, then Excel will select all the data sets, and we can find the sort by anchor circumference, and the largest to smallest. Then click OK button. Then you're gonna see the other relative cells are changed according to the anchor circumference. Okay, so that is the sort. And the another option is autofill options. It's very useful tool. This is really important. So here you can see we have some data here. This is a pound, weight in pound. We want to change this pound to kilogram. As you can see, the 1 pound is 0.45359 kilogram. So this is a ratio. Here you can see the ratio. All you need to do is just multiply this pound and this ratio. Okay, then let's look at how we do that. So we want to change this pound in weight, weight in pounds. Okay, just select the value and multiply the ratio. So 82 kilogram, 182 pounds is 82 kilogram. And then we also using the cell information. Okay, A3 times C1, it works. But what about autofill functions? If we use this autofill function, then the value is 0. Why? Why is it 0? Because when you fill autofill function, if you can see the AC2, C3, C4 is automatically increased, but C2 and C3, C4 there is no data. So in this case we have to do the absolute addressing. Okay, absolutely address this value only, and then we fill again, then we get the value. Okay, this is absolute addressing. VLOOKUP functions. So this is also, if you go to the company, you will face frequently met these situations. You have to fill these columns according to this information. Red, the red is color code is 5, green is 10, blue is 15. This is a reference table, but you want to fill this area according to this reference information. Let's say if it's red, then it should be typed in 5, red 5, green here 10, so it should be 10 here. This is only 10 data sets you can do by manually, but if you have million row you have to fill it out, you cannot do the by yourself, by manually. Okay, so in this case we have to use VLOOKUP functions. Okay. First, VLOOKUP function is you have to define the area. The area means the reference table. Okay, we have to define the reference table, and then we can use that information to fill the actual area. Please select some area and define the name as a reference table. So color code. We just put any name is possible. Right now I use this name, so just using color code, and then we can use a VLOOKUP function. VLOOKUP functions. in the VLOOKUP function, you need to add 4 indexes. And so first one is lookup value. Lookup value is here, the color. This is the value we are going to look up. And the table array is what we defined as a reference table, color code in this case. That is the table array. And the column index number is we want to add the number of this second column. So the second is we have to click. So first the lookup value is F6 and the color code, okay, and the index number is not 1, it should be 2, and the range of lookup we should use false to find the exact match. False. Okay, then okay. Here you can see automatically fill with the number 5 according to the reference function. Then we can fill it out. As you can see, we got the right number, but here orange, there is no value. Why? Because there is no orange here. In this case, you can simply add the orange here and add number 30. Then you can see the data. This is VLOOKUP function. The last concept is if functions. If is very useful function, no matter what in the Excel or the other programming languages such as MATLAB and Microsoft C++, you will use the if function a lot. So let's look at some grammar here. So if, you can write equal if open parentheses, and the logical test, for example, sometimes it can be a larger or smaller, equals, less than equal, or higher than equal. Then we can, if we can also write some display how it looks like. For example, the logical test is true, then if the value is true, then display this. If the logical test is false, then the value is display this. Okay. Again, if the logical test is true, then display this. If the logical test is false, then display this. By the way, this symbol is showing that it's not equal. Okay. So let's find a small male than female. We have two data sets, male data and female data, stature and weight. So let's find a smaller male than female using if functions. So if, type if, open parenthesis, we can select the address. A3 is, let's say A3 is higher, taller than C3, then the Excel will tell you this male subject is taller than female subject. Okay, if the logical test is true, then male, it says male is taller than female. If it's not true, then male is smaller than female. Okay. Now you can see the data. Male is larger than female, so male is taller than female in terms of logical test. And we also use autofill functions. Simply just drag it. Then you can find there are two data, male is smaller than female, and this data also male is smaller than female. This is if functions. So let's check our concept. So here you can see if D6 less than A4. If this is logical test is true, then show D6. If it is not true, then A4 plus B4. Alright, so let's look at D6. D6 is 54 and A4 is 2, right? So D6 is not less than A4, right? 54 is bigger than 2, right? So in this case, this is false. So we skip this part and go to here, A4 plus B4. A4 is 2 B4 is 8, right? So the answer is 10. Okay, it's really easy, right? And let's do the simple test here. You have 1 minute. Solve this problem now. Alright, did you find the right answers? Okay, let's look at together. So here we have if function. B6 is 10 and A4 is 2. So multiply these two things, it's 20, right? 10 times 2 is 20. Is it smaller than C6? C6 is here, 30, right? So it's smaller than C6. That is true. And this is true, then we will go to here. We need to skip this part. So this is blank. There's no space. This is, you can see, this is a one space, but here cell is blank. The answer is cell is blank. Okay. Now we have to go more deeply about multiple if statements. So here you can see we have if logical test condition. If this is true, then we go here, but you can see there is another if here. So another if has another logical test. So if inside if. Okay. So if this logical test is true, then go to the value is true. If it's not true, then value is false. But here the first logical test is it's false, then it goes to the here. The value is false. Okay. So now we have two data sets, male data and female data. We want to find taller male than female, but less weight. Okay, you know what I mean? Taller male, but less weight than female, which means very skinny male soldiers. So let's look at how we find that. The first one is we want to compare the stature first. Okay, so if this male stature is higher or taller than the small female, that's good. Then we will do the another if. We have to compare the weight, right? So in this case, another if the weight is smaller than the female's weight, then we can say this soldier, let's do the code just 1. If it's not, it's 0. Okay, let's say 1 or 0 and 0. So 0 means it's not what we are looking for. Okay, 1 is what we are looking for. So if we just autofill functions, then there's one soldiers. The one soldiers has a higher than the female and less weight than the females. Okay, this is how we can find the data. This is a multiple if statement. So let's look at another quiz. We have 1 minute. Try to find the answers. Start. Alright, did you find the answers? Let's look at the answer together. So if A4 is higher than A6, is it true? It's not true, right? So we have to skip this part and go to the second one. there's another if. The if is A4 is less than A6. Yes, it's true. Then display Y. If it's not true, display N. In this case, the Y will show up. But not this. This is just a quotation mark. If we display this quotation mark, we have another quotation mark here, left side and right side. So the answer is just Y. Okay? So Y, the character Y will show up. The logical operator in the if function, so you have to be familiar with this logical operator. And, or, and not. And means return true if all the conditions are true. But return false if one of them is false, then it's false. How about or? Or is return true if one of them is true. One of them is true. And return false if all are false. Okay. Not is invert logic. So if it is true, then it says false. If it is true, it says false. If it is false, then it says true because it's not operators. It's an invert logic. So let's look at some data, some examples. Here we have AND operator here. So if AND A4 is higher than A6, no, right? 2 is smaller than 3, so it's false, right? So as I said before, AND is one of the two things should be true, then it's true. But if one of them is false, then it's false. Okay, it's false. So we directly go to here. N. The answer is just N, not B4. So we don't need to consider this because this one is already false. So no matter what it is, no matter what false or true is, this is false. So we have to look at N. Another operator here, we have OR operator. So OR is one of them is true, then it's true. Okay? And the two of them are false, then it's false. Okay, let's look at the OR operator. A4 is 2, and 2, we have a square here. That means 4, right? And A6 is 3. So it's true. 4 is higher than 3. In this case, this is true. If one of them is true, then it's true in OR operator. So let's go to B4. B4 is 8. So the answer is C, 8. Okay, so lastly, I would like to share this information about the conditional formatting. As you can see, I show you these pictures in the last lectures. We can measure the sealing pressure using pressure mat, and we can also get some data, import the data in Excel, and then I can mark some color in the low pressure cell as a green and high pressure cell as red or oranges. Okay, so that's how we can visualize data very efficiently. So here is a hip area and this is a side area. The Excel is a very useful tool to visualize data. So you can use this conditional formatting. If the value is a certain value, higher than certain value, then you can simply change the color using some conditional formatting. That's it. So today we learned why Microsoft Excel is important, and we also learned some useful Excel functions like VLOOKUP, average, sum, and some if statement, and we solved many problems. Thank you for watching this short video, and have a great day.